guys, for letting me know. Now, VPC peering, we have done a lab for VPC peering also. And in the lab, we have configured this. Okay. So one VPC paired with two VPC. We configured this in our lab. In this, in this simulation, we have three VPC, and our VPC A is connected with C and B. So the route will be added in both of the parties. What it means that if I want a communication in between VPC A and C, then I have to add the route in VPC A as well and in the C as well. If I delete or if I forgot to add the route in one of the VPC, let's say I forgot to add the route, the peering ID in the VPC C route table, what will happen? I am not able to communicate. So this is two-way routing. It is not stateless. Now, this is our today's topic, network ACL. Network ACL is just a control list, guys. It gives us a lot of control, and it gives us the control over the traffic we want to receive and send. So inbound and outbound control over the subnet we will be having in ACL. So it is a very important topic, and let's start understand network ACLs. A network ACL control list is a optional layer of security for your VPC that acts as a firewall for controlling traffic in and out for multiple subnet. So guys, earlier also when we were discussing about the topic of route tables, there was a line that it act like a virtual router. Over there, I confirm that acting like a virtual router or being a virtual router are two different things. So there are other component in our router also, but we are accessing some part in some kind of way. So tables, route tables, we have that, and that is acting like a router, but they are not actually like a router access. We are not getting any router access. So same over here. ACL, we see that topic in firewalls. It does act like a virtual firewall, but it is not equivalent to our virtual firewall. We don't have any virtual firewall present. We do have a section of ACL that present in virtual firewall, and acting like a virtual firewall. We can engage the ACL. We can engage with the ACL. We can apply rule in them. We can define rule, and our traffic will act accordingly. So make sure, guys, you don't get confused. If it is acting like a virtual firewall, but it is not same as virtual firewall. We don't have any access to virtual firewall over the cloud, not even a router, not even a switch. So we do have their working in some form of section, in some form of way. We do have working of switch, working of router. So how they used to perform in traditional environment, we do have the same exact working in the cloud environment, but they are not exactly the same. Name are different, and we are not accessing the whole set of configuration that are present in router. Let's say in router we have multiple configuration we can do. In switch also we have multiple configuration we can do. We are not accessing all the configuration at once like we used to access the router, and now when we are in the power mode in router, we can do anything we want when we are now when we talk about in cloud, we only have some section of router. Let's say we have a route table, we can add attach route in it. So it's not like we have all the configuration that are present in the router, all the options that are present in router, but we do have something that is route table, that is exactly acting like a route table that is present in router, and therefore they are now acting for us like a virtual route table. Now, your VPC automatically comes with a modifiable default network ACL. So whenever you're creating a VPC, by default, there's a VPC present whenever you are visiting any region. So you open up any region tab, there's a VPC already present there by default. And by default, the default VPC also has the default ACL. But let's say I create a subnet in my VPC. That VPC is by default. Now I'm creating two different subnet in my default VPC. What will happen? When I create my two subnet, two default route tables will be there in my route tables. So make sure, guys, you know how the default is working, right? So both of these two default route table belongs to your two different subnets. Same exactly when you create a VPC. Uh, one is present by default and there's a ACL by default also. But whenever you're creating a VPC of your own in your VPC section, what will happen? You will get a ACL by default. Okay. So in that ACL, by default, all the traffic is allowed, inbound and outbound, both kind of traffic is allowed. So, but when you create a VPC, in the default ACL, all traffic is not passing through. So all traffic is blocked, inbound and outbound. Both of these traffic are blocked. So, okay, guys, I'm repeating. It may cause you some confusion, but what is I'm saying that when you open up your region, let's say you are in Tokyo and you open up VPC. So now you are in your Tokyo region and in your VPC console. Now what will happen? You will see first thing, what will you see? You will see a default VPC, and in the default VPC there's a ACL attach. So in that ACL attach you will see that all of the inbound and outbound traffic is allowed. But when you will be creating a VPC in that Tokyo region, again let's say you have created my VPC and you are now creating subnets, what will you see? There's already ACL attached with the VPC, but in that default ACL, we don't have any traffic allowed. All traffic is denied by default. So there are two type of ACL, default ACL that belongs to default VPC that allows all traffic by default, but a default ACL that belongs to the VPC we have created that blocks all the traffic we want to send. So we will see that in the lab. I'm just clearing this to you right now. So just have the image, just have the concept. When we will configuring the lab, you will get a clear picture. Don't worry. So same like route table with one subnet with one VPC, you can attach one ACL and you cannot attach more than one. But with one ACL, you can attach multiple VPN, multiple subnets. Okay. So you can create custom network ACL and associate it with a subnet. By default, each custom network ACL denies all the inbound and outbound traffic. You add rules. So whenever you are creating a VPN, you create a VPN by yourself, then a default ACL will be presented to you. And in that default ACL, all the traffic inbound and outbound is denied. Each subnet in your VPC must be associated with a network ACL. So when you are creating a subnet, your VPC in your VPC, you should associate that subnet with an ACL. So you can use the same ACL that is connected with your VPC. So now we have a VPC and in that VPC we have a subnet. So both for our VPC and subnet, we are using the same ACL. You can do that, right? But I cannot attach two ACL with my VPC or my subnet. Only one ACL I can attach. Okay. So if you don't explicitly associate a subnet with the network. So over here, explicitly, we have seen this term a lot of time. It simply means when you are manually adding the subnet, manually associating a subnet with a network ACL, the subnet will automatically associate with the default network ACL. Okay. Got it, guys? Any doubt? Good. So I'm seeing few new names. So I'm just hoping that you guys are getting what I'm talking about. I'm just hoping that we are on the same page. But if you find any kind of difficulty and if you find that you are not able to associate with the uh, upward language, what you have to do, just look for the recordings, watch all the recordings and start making notes. And any doubt you have, just ask me out. Okay. So on that note, let's move on. Traffic flow diagram. So this is what we're gonna configure in the this is kind of this is the flow chart, and this is kind of the diagram we see when we are configuring the ACL. So let's see what is the flow of traffic. We talked about route tables, we talked about network ACL, and we have an internet gateway. So let's see how security groups. So we also have security groups. So guys, what is the different? All of these are regulating the traffic. Security group is also regulating my traffic. My network ACL is also regulating my traffic. But my route table is also regulating my traffic. I have three different things to regulate my traffic. How I am going to manage, and could you please explain ACL again? Yes, sure. Okay. So this is a diagram over here we have, guys. I will explain the diagram to you. But before that, let me just work on the ACL once again. So network access control list. What is ACL? It is just a list of rules. And what rules? We want to have some control. We want to have some control on our network, on our traffic. So inbound and outbound, we have two kind of traffic, inbound and outbound. So on both of them we want to have a lot of control, some control, lot of control, whatever you want. So for control you will select ACL, and you can modify the default ACL. You will be getting a default ACL in your VPC, and you can create your own ACL. In this ACL you will be creating rules, and these rules will get the priority. So there's a fixed number. When we will do the lab, we will see what are the fixed number of ACL we can create, and there is a priority number also associated with all of your rules. So you will select carefully what kind of inbound traffic you want to receive, and what kind of outbound traffic you want to send. So if you want to receive only RDP kind of traffic, so you will allow that RDP in both of your inbound and outbound. Making sure that, guys, you remember this particular point, that network ACLs are stateless. So if you want to make sure that traffic is coming in and going out, you have to add the rule in both of the parties involved, in the inbound rule also, in the outbound rule also. If you forget to add a rule in your inbound section, the rule will not work. Okay. Let's say I have allowed RDP traffic for my ACL, and I have allowed that RDP in the inbound only. What will happen? I will not be able to do RDP because I am not able to outbound the RDP traffic. So ports, we have control over ports, we have control over traffic, we have control over subnet, from which uh, network we going to receive the traffic, and to which network we will communicate. So we have different control in our ACL list. It And you can add your ACL with multiple subnet, multiple VPCs, but one VPC will only follow one ACL. Same with the subnet. One subnet will only follow one ACL, because we are following rules. It will not make sense if you are following rules from two different rule books. You can just make these two rule books, add them up, and make it a one rule book. You can do that. So following two different rule book will not make sense in the normal world. That's why it doesn't make sense in IT world also. Network ACLs. So this slide, I skipped it. You can associate a network ACL with multiple subnet. However, we have already discussed the point, guys. So I'm just giving you the proper definition over here. So I'm reading the points again because ACL, this topic you guys want me to repeat. So I'm reading all the points again. Make sure you understand. And okay, anything you want me to repeat, just drop a message. A network access control list, ACL, is an optional layer of security for your VPC. So it is an optional layer security. Well, okay. So you have it or you don't have it doesn't make any difference. Only difference it will be making on the security. So if you want a high security network, what will you do? You will add ACL. But if you don't want any high security, you can You can skip the network ACL because you already get a default one, and in default you have all traffic allowed. Okay, so it's not like you have to create one for yourself. Same with the route table, you don't have to create one for yourself, but to add routes, to add rules, we do create our own route tables, and same with the ACL. Okay, now it acts like a virtual firewall. It is not exactly same like a virtual firewall. We do get some control and some section of our firewall, but we are not accessing a virtual firewall over here, so we will not call it a virtual firewall. We will say it simply acts like a firewall. Okay, your VPN automatically comes with a modifiable default network ACL. So by default it allows all inbound and outbound IPv4 traffic, and if applicable, IPv6 traffic. Got it? You can create a custom network. Okay, you can create a custom network ACL and associate it with the subnet. So you can create a ACL of your own. That's what custom means, and associate with any subnet or any VPC. Right, guys? Each custom ACL denies all the inbound, outbound traffic until you add rules. So the ACL you will be creating will block all the traffic by default. Okay, you have to add rules both in the inbound and outbound section. If you forget to add rule in one section, the communication will not work. Each subnet in your VPC must be associated with a network ACL. So if you have a VPC, that must be associated with a network ACL, and each subnet of your VPC may be the VPC that it okay. So the subnet in your VPC, they can be attached and associated with the same ACL that is attached with your VPC. So but if you want to have some more control and some more rules bounded control, you but what you can do, you can create more ACL and attach these different ACL into your subnet rather than attaching the same ACL into your subnet. Okay, you can create a whole new ACL for all the subnet in your particular VPC. If you don't explicitly associate a subnet with your network ACL, the subnet is automatically associated with the default network ACL. Got it, guys? So we need the ACL in our subnet. If we don't attach the ACL, it will go with the default ACL. Network ACLs. You can associate a network ACL with a multiple subnet. However, a subnet can be associated with only one network ACL at a time. Okay. So if you want to change your ACL, you can change them, but at a time you can only attach one ACL to a particular subnet or a VPC. Okay. Sorry. When you associate a network ACL with subnet, the previous association will is removed. So why you can't attach different ACL? Because whenever you try to do so, your prior ACL will get removed.
So
A
it is,
network,
you can say that like global and versus local configuration, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't got your point. Can you explain further?
Uh, I said that it is like a global configuration and a
Hmm.
local configuration, similar kind of
Environment, yes.
relation between. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so you just have to make sure that if you want a specific rule book for your subnet, then only you have to create the ACL. Otherwise you can go with the default global rule book, you can go with that. But if you want to have a local ACL for your subnet, you have to create it. Otherwise your subnet will follow default eventually. And in default, let me tell you guys, in default the traffic is allowed, all inbound and outbound. Okay, so when you associate. Okay, we have covered this point. A network ACL contains a numbered list of rules that we evaluate in order to starting with the lowest number rule. Okay, so in total we have something around 32,766 rules in ACL that we can declare. So the best practice that is recommended. It's not like that you start creating rules like rule number 1, rule number 2, rule number 3. In that scenario, what will happen, if you want to make some changes and if you want to add some subsidiary rules, what will happen, they will correspond and collide. So for that, what can you do? You can create rule number 100 and take some gap, let's say rule number 200, because we have a lot of we have a long list of rule. Okay, so let's read this point. A network ACL contains a number of lists of rules that we evaluate in order. So it has a priority section. So we pick the rule on basis of priority. So let's say I am creating a rule 100 and I am creating a rule 99. So my network ACL will follow rule 99 first. So in rule 99, if I have denied all HTTP traffic and in rule 100, I have allowed the HTTP traffic, it will follow rule 99, not the 100. Okay. So that we evaluate in order. So we evaluate the rule in order starting from the lowest number rule. So the rule number 1 will be the highest priority rule to determine whether traffic is allowed in or out. Okay, for any subnet associated with network ACL, the highest number you can use for rules is 32,766. So it's not like you can only create this much of rule. You can create this much of rule with every ACL you can create. Okay, you can associate, you can add the 32,766 rule with every ACL you create. We recommend that you start creating rules with rule number that are multiplies of 100, so that you can insert new rules where you need to later on. Okay, so this is the good practice. If you want, you can go in the order 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you don't want that, you can use the gap order and you can add the rules you might need it to add later on. Okay, so
Um,
always yes.
I didn't understand the term stateless here.
Okay, stateless. Guys, stateful packet filtering. It is a concept in the firewall. So in packet filtering, not only in firewall, in packet filtering, so we have a concept of stateful packet filtering. What is happening over here? Let's say when I am accessing a website, what is happening? First message is the TCP sync message, right? So I will be setting up the session. So I will be asking if you are available for me. I want to set up a session with you and I want to ask for particular information. So are you available? So let's say I am accessing YouTube and I am asking for with the YouTube server that YouTube, I want to watch some videos. Are you available? So if my firewall is stateless, what will happen? The traffic I am sending towards YouTube, it will allow the YouTube traffic, that is the traffic YouTube is sending me back automatically. It will allow that to come towards me. Okay. But in stateless, what will happen? When I am sending traffic out to the YouTube, I am allowed to send traffic out. But if I am not allowed to receive traffic from YouTube, if my rule book is declaring that I can send traffic out to YouTube, but I cannot receive, then I am not able to do that. I am not able to communicate with the YouTube. I am not able to watch any video. So in stateful, what you have to do, you have to attach the rule in both of the car traffic, in the inbound traffic and the outbound traffic. So both of the traffic you have to attach the rule, otherwise you will not be able to communicate. But in packet filtering, we have stateful packet filtering in which if we are receiving the traffic, receiving the traffic and the packets we asked for earlier, then we don't have to attach the rule. Okay, if we have allowed HTTP, then I can just go and visit the website. I don't have to go and attach the inbound rule also. I can just attach it once, and for both inbound and outbound it will work. So Why it is still considered good security practice? Because we are only receiving the packet we ask for. We not any random http port request will be allowed by the firewall. No random request will be allowed. Only the request we have asked for, the information we have asked for. Let's say I'm communicating with YouTube. It will see that a packet has been sent from this destination to this source, and now source is replying back to the destination. So I should allow this packet because it is stateful, right? Got it, guys?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So network ACL has a separate inbound and outbound rules, and each rule can either allow or deny traffic. So we have to make sure that if we want to allow any kind of communication, we have to allow that in inbound and outbound. Both of these rules we have to allow. Okay. Network ACL is stateless. So it is stateless. But when we talk about stateful, we we don't have to declare the rule in both in the inbound and outbound. In stateful packet filtration, network ACL are stateless. Response to allow inbound traffic are subject to the rules of outbound traffic. So if you have allowed some inbound traffic, the outbound traffic you will be receiving will be cautioned. But in stateful, the outbound traffic will not be cautioned if the inbound traffic is sent for that outbound traffic. Got it? So traffic diagram over here. VPC with public and private subnet. Public and private, we have two subnet. Okay, guys. So in the subnet, I was talking about, we have route tables, we have network ACL, and we have security groups also. So where they align and where they lie also. Security group gives you the closest security because they are applied on your. So in CL, it means that if I send a request out, it means when the response come back, it will evaluate again. When you send a request out and you will receive a response back, right? But it will not allow that you receive your response because your ACL bill block that response. You have to allow that response in your inbound rule book. Okay. So in your ACL, you have two type of rule, inbound and outbound. If you have allowed to send request in your inbound rule, but you have to allow the same thing in your outbound rule book also. So if you have allowed HTTP traffic in your inbound, but not in your outbound, you will not be able to visit any web page because the response that is coming back after you requesting for the web page is responding you back, and that response is blocked by your ACL. Is it clear now, Sammy? Good. Okay. So security group, they are directly configured with our EC2 instances, and when we create security group, we make sure that different EC2s are the part of our security group. Let's say I have 10 EC2 instances and 2 security group, and I want that my 5 security group become a part of security A group, become a part of a group that is security A group, and my other 5 become a part of another group, my group B. On both of these group, I can apply different security rules. Now when I step one uh, when I step out, I see network ACLs. Okay, so network ACLs are allowed on the VPC, they are on your public and private subnet. So you can apply that on your VPC, on your public and private subnet. In the route table, we have the routes. Make sure, guys, you understand this. In route table, you have routes, not the rule. You have route, you have rules for route. In route table, you have attached the routes. In ACL, you have attached the rule that will be governing the traffic. So route table also give you some kind of control, but in ACL, you have a little bigger and larger control over the network. So let's say if my security is level D security. I am a local company. I work with a local company and my security level is level D. I will just create simple some security groups, some route tables, and I'm fine to work with. But my security increases, the requirement for the security now is increasing. What I have to do, I have to install barricading. So guys, it's simply like that. If you want to make sure that you are safe, what will you do? You will install a lock, you will lock your door. And if you want to make sure that you are more secure, you will just install 2 or 3 locks, more locks on your door, and lock yourself inside your room. So rather than trusting one lock, you are now under the protection of 3 locks, right? So same thing over here. We have three type of way we can differentiate the traffic and regulate the traffic and move the traffic from inward, from inside to outside. So nothing to confuse over here. Just remember, we have routers. We when we have a VPC, let's say we have a region. So the region is showing by the red line, and in the region we have a VPC. In the VPC, we have two subnets, public and private. With both of our subnet, we have attached a security group. Okay, so if security group is there, by default allows all traffic. Network ACL by default allows all traffic. Route tables also by default sends all traffic to the internet gateway. So route table will be giving you the destination where you should be routed. If you want to go to the internet gateway, it will automatically route you toward the internet gateway. If you want to go to your local network, it will route you towards the local network rather than sending you to the internet gateway. Okay, with the ACL you can control the traffic that you are sending out and you are receiving. Is it clear, guys? I hope you guys have understood what is the difference between security group, ACL, and route table. For any further clarification, you simply just type difference between ACL and route table, whatever you want to read, and you will be routed and you will be, transferred toward the documentation. So I have talked about this lot of time, but I think I haven't made lot of pressure about this. I haven't clear the relevance of this. So that's why I am showing you this again and again. You have a documentation section in your AWS website page. So over here you can read about any configuration, any product, because they just want you to use it. So they have each and everything detail present on their website. So it's not like that you have to wait for anything. You just simply go and visit the website, start reading documentation. If you want to work with EC2, if you want to work with VPC, if you want to work with storage, DB, if you want to work with another things, another solution they are providing, you can simply go to the documentation and start reading about it. What is it? Compute, database, storage, containers, web and mobile application, each and every product they have their documentations. So in the documentation, all the process is there, like all the configuration, all the setups, how, if there's a different divisions also, if you are working in particular sector of in if you are working in particular sector, then what kind of rule you should apply. So they have a lot of things present in their website. You can check out the documentation tab. And for pricing, if you have any question about pricing, you can check out about the pricing. AWS free tier, if you want to know what are the prices if you exclude your free tier limit, what will happen. So after that, there are certain prices you have to pay. So you can check out what are the prices from the pricing section. So most of the time, when you are visiting the website, you are just opening the AWS and then sign in into your console. I will urge you to give some time to this website, research about this, search about this, and the no one in this world can teach you more about AWS than AWS itself. No one can be able to do that. So that's your best and most important source of information for any cloud product, any Amazon service is your Amazon website itself. Okay, they have their YouTube channel, they have their other platform, also other social platform connected with this website. So let's say what they have on the YouTube. So on YouTube you will find different videos about their product. So podcast, live shorts video, you can search out. Sorry, you can see over here you have multiple product videos that are uploaded by the Amazon itself. So they are teaching you configuration about the products, they are teaching you about each and everything. So over here you can see startup, Code Whisper, professional with Microsoft. So Code Whisper, if you are working with Code Whisper and you want to set it up for writing codes and doing some, you know, code development work, application development work. So you can just see this video and find out how to do that, how to attach the Code Whisper, how to configure the Code Whisper, and how to use it. So, okay, it is अरे okay. So I was just okay, guys. That's it. Just start searching out all the different things you can do with this website and with Amazon services. Let's go into the VPC and let's configure our ACLs. So whatever I have configured before today, like in our prior session, each and everything is present. I haven't deleted anything. So that's why I will not be doing that again. So you can see over here, guys, all are the defaults. Okay. I have a default VPC. That's why I have a default ACL. Now I haven't created any ACL, right, guys? You remember I haven't created any ACL in the prior section. I just created three subnets: subnet 1, subnet 2, and subnet 3. And you can see by default, each of these subnet comes with a ACL list. And let's see what is the configuration over here. You can see this one is default. Yes, it is associated with subnet 2. What is the rule? All traffic is allowed. Okay. Rule number 100, all traffic is allowed. Let's see what is the outbound rule. Outbound rule is all traffic allowed. That's why we are able to communicate. We are able to RDP it. We are able to ping, and we are able to send out TCP messages. So this is the only reason, because all traffic is allowed. Now let's say I want to make some changes. Rather than say all traffic, I want to allow some particular kind of traffic only. So I'm making changes in the outbound rule book. So 100 all traffic? No, not all traffic. So I will be doing custom protocol. If you want to do custom TCP, you can do custom UDP, custom ICMP. Okay, TCP, UDP, all ICMP, Telnet, SMTP, name server, DNS, HTTP, POP, all ports you can see over here what kind of control you can apply each and everything. It's similar like a security group, but you can just put it and attach it to any subnet you want. Okay, so this gives you, let's open this for HTTP. So if you want to define port range, you can define the port range. Let's say I am adding a new rule. So this is my rule 200. Okay. So this is my custom TCP. Let's say custom protocol, custom TCP. I am taking custom TCP. Now I have to define the port range. So I told you we have a very big number of range and rules, range of rule we can allow more than 62,000. So over here you can apply what range you want to assign to this particular rule. Let's say from 6,000 to 10,000. Okay, allow. Save changes. Only. Okay. So guys, over here you can see I have made changes in the network ACL, right? That belongs to my subnet 2. So I have just allowed the HTTP and custom TCP traffic over here. Got it? Save. This is my outbound rule. Now let's see what are the inbound rule I have. All is allowed. I will make changes in that also. Okay. Before that, let's check it. Okay. How we will check it? We will go back to the services. We will open our EC2 console. I am in my EC2 management console and let's go to the instances. Okay. Let's try to connect with EC2B. Save changes. So disconnected with subnet 2. This is my instance. It is a public instance and it is associated with my subnet 2 if I'm not wrong. Let me check the subnet ID. Okay, yes, it is associated with my subnet 2. So let's try to RDP this particular instance. I'm opening up my desktop connection. Public address is copied. So I will not be able to do RDP because I have only allowed this in the inbound rule, and the outbound rule is not talking about any RDP rule. So it means that RDP connection is blocked. So what I have to do, guys, now you can see I am configuring the default ACL of my VPC, and this default ACL associated with my subnet 2. Okay, guys. So this is my VPC ID, VPC-B, and in VPC-B, I have created a subnet 2. And in my subnet 2, what I have done, I have attached some inbound and outbound rules. So inbound, all traffic is allowed. Let's see outbound what is saying. Oh, HTTP. I can send HTTP. I can send TCP, custom TCP. Okay, that's good. And what about RDP? Okay, I want to do RDP. Inbound, all rules are allowed. RDP is allowed. So in inbound, I should not be have any problem. So I just have to allow the outbound rule of RDP. So I will add another rule, right? So I just showed you guys. So make sure that you do both side configuration, not in inbound or maybe in outbound only. In both of these, you have to do the configuration. So I just showed you that if you don't do that, you will not be able to send the traffic out or receive the traffic in. Now let's select the RDP. Destination, if you want to make change in destination, let's say I just want that my, let's say in my private subnet ACL, I now am my private subnet and configuring my private subnet ACL. What will I do? I will only allow the destination of public subnet. Okay, of my public subnet only, I will allow the destination of inbound and outbound because it is my uh, private sector. Should not be able to get access from anywhere, right? So eventually, when you declare it private, you still not be able to access it, but more security is a better way to make your environment secure, having more barricading, having more rule to apply, and different kind of list rule books. Either it be a security group, either it be a routing table, either it be a network ACL. You should use all of these components to make sure that your services, your resources are most secure. Okay, so after changing the settings, let's try to do this again. All traffic allowed inbound, and let's see in the outbound. So you can create your custom protocol also, guys. I have just did that. So in your custom protocol, you can add the specific port and specific ranges. So I have done I have just allowed one protocol, a custom TCP, and a custom protocol. So three type of traffic I have selected for you guys. So these are the three kind. You can do practice. You can try to change each and everything. Just make sure that you are allowing them in both of the rules. Okay. So this is, I guess, the same. Okay. Now I have to put the, you can,
Step.
it's different. I'm checking. Okay. So we might have missed up some rules. Let me go back and check. ACL. The dashboard be submit, right?
Should it be in the inbound rules instead of outbound?
What do you mean?
Like when we are trying to connect to RDP,
Mm-hmm.
it is an inbound or outbound?
Okay, so outbound rule is we when we are sending out, and inbound when we receive. So we are receiving all traffic, right? Over here you can see rule number 100, all traffic, all protocol, all range. So we are able to RDP, but from outbound also I have selected the RDP section. You can see that custom protocol RDP. So let's just add another rule, rule 150. The configuration is correct, guys. So maybe because of some, you know, let's go to the instance once again and let me refresh this.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, sorry to disturb. I wanted to ask whether is the problem not related maybe to the security group, the inbound rules of the security group?
Of instances.
Yes.
Okay, let me check that. So it's a good suggestion, but I don't think so because I haven't made any changes and the security groups, so they are just, you know, by default, let me check wizard 3, wizard 2. So we are configuring our, which one? Yeah, this is the same wizard. So security group ID launch wizard 2. in which I am pretty sure that all traffic is allowed. Inbound rule. Let's see what is the outbound rule. All traffic. Yeah, it's allowed over here. It's not the configuration, guys. Sometime you can remember when we were doing the VPC also. So we just missed something maybe, but right now I can't figure out what we have missed. Uh, a small step we have made, but the procedure is still the same. We have to define the rules. So over here, you can see in your security group, you have your inbound rule and RDP for IPv4 is allowed on port range this, and on your outbound rule also your IPv4 in outbound on in both of these rules it is showing here that all traffic is allowed. Type all traffic, protocol all, port range all, and let's see what are the inbound. Same IP version, type RDP. So inbound traffic it can only receive RDP, TCP, and this particular TCP port, and the security groups are fine, guys. Let me just do one thing. We will go back to the VPC and we will go to the network ACL, right? So which one for our subnet? Okay, this one was the default one. What will we do? We will delete this one and we will create our new ACL. Okay, so we will do the whole process again. Otherwise, let's create a new ACL and then we will allow attach that to our subnet too, and then we will do the same thing again. The process is same, guys. Maybe some lag of connection it can possible because cloud do some malfunctioning sometime. So name optional created my ACL VPC. So which VPC? We are talking about VPC B, right? So subnet 2 is present in our VPC B. So my ACL VPC is associated. Tag name, yeah, that's it. We don't want to give any other tags. So now subnet association, you can see there's only one subnet associated, that is subnet 2. And with this particular ACL, you can check out that my subnet is now out. Okay. So earlier it used to has one particular subnet, that is subnet 2, but now that subnet 2 is associated with my ACL. That's why the default one is not associated with any subnet. So I can easily just go and delete this so we won't get confused. This following ASL cannot be deleted. Two inbound rules. Mhm, mhm. Guys, the dashboard is right now lagging because I have detached this from the subnet 2, and you can see according to the rules two subnets should not be attached with the two different ACL. So this is the one subnet, and now it is attached with the two network ACL. So over here it just like the server is not working properly, Amazon server. That's why the it is not uploading it. Okay, now it's a no. Got it. So sometimes we just do have to refresh it. Hmm. It's not showing the options. Okay, guys, as you can see, like I'm in the route table section. So whenever I'm clicking on the route table, the second subsidiary tab open by itself. But the same is not happening with my network ACL. So like, let me disconnect this. Let me select this. Nothing is opening up. So it is the error by the Amazon server. So we are facing problem because the Amazon server, we are not able to update the inbound and outbound rule because configuration is all right. You can see over here by yourself. Whenever I'm selecting, I get the subsection of tab, but in the ACL, I'm not getting that for some reason. There's nothing. So server is showing the problem. Maybe AWS
I
server
think
is showing.
the area you have expanded to the bottom.
Oh, got it. Yes. So, and this is the my ACL which I have created. So right now, let's see what is the subnet association. No subnet. Sorry guys, that's a very big blunder. I have associated the subnet now. So this is the subnet which I have associated with the my ACL. Now let's see the rule. So I told you about that by default, all the traffic will be denied. But whatever ACL I create, all the traffic will be denied. So in inbound, let me add some rule. Let me add custom TPC rule number 100. Where's the RDP section? This one. Okay. So let's save the changes over here. Okay. In inbound rule, we have added the RDP rule. We are now able to do RDP. Now let's add the outbound rule. Okay. Let's go to the outbound rule. Now let's add new rule. Okay. So we want to send out what we want to send out 100 custom DCP. Select the protocol from here. DCP. So okay, let's try to do RDP only right now. We will do the HTTP another rule later. Let's see if they are now uploaded now. So this is going back. Subnet association is done right. Okay. So going back to the EC2 management and our instances. Public IPv4 is the same. Just give me a moment, guys. I'm checking. This is what we have to do, guys. This is the right process, and if it's not working, there's a problem on the other end. We are doing the right configuration. This is what we have to do. So RDP is allowed. Let's add some other rules or outbound. Custom TCP.
In ACL, we are giving HTTP as well, so we can check whether HTTP is working or not.
But how will you check
Am I correct?
when if you don't get the access to the instance? How will
In,
you check that?
we can install some sort of like in web IS server, we can install some sort of like small PM website and we can check it.
I,
Correct?
okay, but it should work. If it's not working for RDP, I don't think it will work for any other like any other thing, because RDP is the most foremost thing we want to do for our EC2 instances.
Okay.
Because
Is
anything
there
you
any
do,
another way
you
like
need
Hmm? Yes, guys, please. What are you saying?
is there any way like to ping? We can allow ping ICMP protocol, then we can do. Is that possible or not?
It is possible, but the thing is, if we are pinging it, that means it will not work, because this ACL it's not sending the outbound or inbound traffic. Then we just have to delete
Okay.
this ACL. This ACL, the configuration is right. It is somehow it's not working. The only assumption I can make is that while I am declaring the port range, like from 200 to, let's say I want to declare the port range from 200 to 600. So it means there are 400 port range that it can take and go out. But the thing is, I don't know if the declaration for that is this, like this hyphen sign, what you call it, short hyphen dash, this middle dash. I don't know if this it can cause the problem, because we should use a particular dash. So I don't know if it's the middle dash, if it's the hyphen, what is it? Then it will work. Allow all port will work definitely. See, let's remove this. Okay, all traffic, all allow, save changes. So this is our network ACL, and let's see if we have any subnets associated with this. No subnet. So outbound, all traffic, inbound, all traffic. There's this similar rule we used to use. Let's associate the subnet with this. Then we will be checking that out. Associate, save changes. Now let's again go to the instance. We are not doing anything wrong over here, guys. The configuration is completely right. The only thing I can assume that I am not doing right. Ranjan, I did check that. Did you like? Is it fine now? Do you want to suggest? We are able to access it. Okay, Ranjan. Yes. So let me show you guys what I think is the problem is when I am declaring the port range from this to this. There are I have to declare the range like when we are receiving the traffic on the inbound. Okay, we are receiving traffic on a particular port. So for HTTP, we have port 80. So let's say in the inbound and we want to do send the inbound traffic, then only what can we do? We can only allow the HTTP 80. So in inbound, HTTP 80 is allowed. So when we are sending traffic outbound, we have to declare the ranges, right? So the port range when I'm declaring, let's say I want to declare 100 to 600, 500. Okay. So I have total 400 port range. So the declaration should be something like this, or maybe something l- like this. So this is what I think should be the declaration. But maybe I am forgetting the declaration, how to declare the port range. So I'm forgetting the symbol. That's the only reason I can think. Allow only TCP 3389 in outbound or in inbound. In where you want me to allow that? Like, okay, I am allowing that both. So do you want? Let's first delete this rule. Ranjan is suggesting that we should allow rule number 100. For doing UDP and TCP, we have to set up the other systems. First most thing we do with our EC2 instances is to RDP them. If we get access a remote control, then I can check the HTTP, I can check the TCP, UDP, each and everything. The only thing which is going wrong, guys, let me tell you, custom protocol. Okay, so when I am in the rule and I am declaring the custom protocol for RDP, what is happening? I have to select a range, right? RDP, this RDP port range is all. So while I'm selecting the range, I am putting the wrong. You see over here, IPv4 6 slash sim packet. So they are using this small dash. So I am also using the small dash. So I think this is the right one, but it can be wrong one. I have to check it out with the documentation or some other things. But for now, this is the right configuration, and you can check it out by this previous configuration we have done. When all is allowed, you can see all traffic is allowed, outbound all traffic is allowed. So we are just getting confused with the traffic. So protocol, let's try to do this again. Yes. Guys, we are able to do RDP. So in the inbound rule, we have allowed the rule number 100, type RDP, and port range is this particular port. So we will be receiving on all the inbound RDP on this particular range. So let's go to the outbound, okay, and do the same thing for the outbound. So right now we have all traffic allowed. So from all traffic, what we want to receive, basically TCP and RDP. So first, for TCP, let's declare the port range 6,000 to 8,000. Let's declare that custom TCP.
Ma'am, is it okay if we can give first RDP here in outbound rules?
Yes, that's
Because
for that. Hmm.
because there is some sort of like a rule precedence as well. If there is rule number is higher, it will be
Yes,
given
yes.
least
If you
precedence.
remember, for RDP, I selected rule number 50.
Okay.
Yes, so the priority is for the lower number.
Number, okay.
RDP, RDP. Mhm. I'm also seeing all the options. So, guys, configuration is perfectly right. There is nothing wrong I can think about the configuration. There is nothing I will change about the configuration. It is perfectly right. There is something we are just missing. Hmm. Hang on. Okay, custom DCB. Let's try this again. Now we have made changes in the outbound rule sections also. So we will do the changes over here. So let's see if we are able to do that. Okay, guys, now it's working. I don't know why, but it's working now. Okay, so let me cancel this and okay. So guys, what we have done, we are in the ACL and we created this ACL, and in the inbound rule I have allowed the RDP traffic. So first thing we will be doing to our EC2 instance is RDP. Maybe it takes time to configure and to upload because we are just making changes, and behind the background Amazon is still working. So sometimes do take changes. So configuration, we have changed nothing in the configuration. We have done all the same thing. So right now we are in the inbound rule and RDP is allowed by us. So let's go back to the outbound rule and you can see RDP is allowed in the outbound rule also, and custom TCP is also allowed. Okay, so you can see, if I want to select a particular destination, let's say I want that from my subnet 1 only I can contact my subnet 2, so you can change the destination from here. So guys, whenever you are creating ACL and attaching it with the network, make sure that you wait for 5 to 10 minutes, because it take time to upload. That's why we are not able to do that earlier. You can see we haven't changed anything. Guys, any confusion? Over here we have done the same thing. Prior also we were doing the same thing. Dash is the right sign. I was confused, maybe I'm using the wrong sign, but dash is the right sign. Okay.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
it required to mention this custom TCP for
Hmm. What you saying? This custom TCP.
if you remove this outbound rule, second one, then also it will work, no?
Let's check. uh, it should not, because we are using a TCP sync message. uh, Same, right?
I believe it will work because we're actually doing only this
What?
RDP.
RDP.
Yeah, it will work, I think. If we
Okay.
will remove this custom TCP, it should work.
Problem
But
over
I'm
here,
not sure.
guys, I have just checked. We are doing rules and each and everything. Okay, why I'm saying you to wait, because you can see over here, we are making changes in this particular thing, right? And when we go to the subnet, we don't have any subnet associated. Still our ICP is working. So the prior list we have configured, that list is working. We are making changes in that list, in this particular list, and nothing is applied because no subnet is associated. So the list we have created earlier, all the HTTP traffic, ping traffic, they all are working. So let's go inside this one. uh, you guys got it, what list I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yes,
subnet.
I am
Yeah,
in my ACL, right? This is what I have created, and we are doing the inbound and outbound rules. Okay, we are configuring, but I just forgot we haven't associated in subnet. So all of our traffic is going perfectly fine with the subnet, this one. Okay, so let me open up the network ACL. This is what we are using right now. So this uh, ACL is working for us. Let's see what we have allowed in this ACL. All traffic, all traffic, all traffic, all traffic. Now let's change the inbound rule, and let's start working in here. So we will edit rule 100 traffic. So let's RDP. We want to do RDP. So let's attach the inbound rule RDP. Save. Okay. So you are saying that only RDP is working. We will attach other rules also. So
okay.
it's just taking some time before pushing out the request and putting it up. So this is 20 custom TCP packet. Okay. So TCP packet, let's allow TCP packet also. Port range, let's select the port range from 5000 to 7000. Take that. Add new rule 300 for our HTTP traffic. Save changes. Let's see if we are still able to do the RDP. Yeah, it's working. So inbound and outbound both are working perfectly fine. In inbound, what we have allowed, RDP, source any port range. On this particular port, it will fall. Custom TCP. So let's change it from here also. Added outbound rule. So right now, not all traffic. I am just allowing the RDP. Let's see if we're still able to do that. Okay, guys. So we got the problem. Problem is in the our outbound rule, and let's check out what is the problem. So inbound rule,
TCP we have. Is it
yes.
like TCP?
What?
In outbound we like in outbound we have not given TCP rule, right?
Yes, yes. So there are multiple rules we haven't added. So I will add rule number 100, custom TPC. Custom. Let's check now.
I believe that whatever protocols we have or whatever ports we have allowed in inbound, we have to do same in outbound. Then only it will work. Like if we have a TCP and RDP, we have to allow those two protocols here as well. Or
Mm-hmm.
HTTP, HTTPS, we have to allow all those protocols here as well.
Okay, let me just try the another thing. If it's not working, then we will do this configuration tomorrow. But by now, I think we are working fine. The configuration is completely correct. Maybe we are just missing something, rules and things. Okay, let's try this. Okay, working. Uh, RDP for RDP guys, telnet. It is mentioned telnet, and we were selecting another rules, right? So okay. Huh. Added inbound rule. Let's come back. You see over here rules. We have rules. So let's add another rule and see. So what kind of rule we have? First we have all traffic. So if you want to create a, like if you want to allow all traffic, you can use all traffic rule. And what will happen? All of your traffic, either it be HTTP, it be RDP, it be TCP, UDP, ICMP, whatever traffic it is, it will pass out. Okay. Then we have custom protocol. If you want to customize your own protocol, let's say I want to use RDP, and let's say I want to use HTTP on a not on the 8080 range, on the not on 8080 port but on the 1000 port. So I am the protocol says that HTTP, and HTTP has the port of 80. So protocol is this, but I want to make changes in this protocol. I want to use HTTP, but I want the traffic to hit on my 101 port. So I can do this from here, but eventually all TCP, all UDP, all Telnet, SMP, RDP, this is this. So we are doing RDP. You can see when we select the RDP, let's select this RDP and name it. We have selected RDP, right? This one is already there. Got it?
Yeah, yeah.
It- yes. So we are in the inbound RDP, custom TCP, and HTTP. Save changes. Yeah, हमने cancel. Then coming to the outbound. So in outbound, yes. So guys, in like we are sending a RDP traffic, all TCP, all telnet. You can see only telnet traffic and all TCP is allowed. So we are receiving the RDP traffic. That's why we will use the telnet. Are you getting me, guys? Okay, let's try to do RDP once again. Open. Cancel, cancel. So right now, let's see. We are in the outbound, and what we have done, we have deleted the all TCP, right? So our new rule 200 custom DBC, no, all TCP, and let's remove the telnet, and then we try again. Yes, guys. So both now, one of you asked, you asked that maybe we have to declare all the rules that are declared at the one side to do that. It is not the case as we have seen. So what is happening? The mistake we have done, guys, we are receiving inbound. Okay, I am talking about the EC2 instance. So let's say if I am the EC2 instance, I am receiving the TCP, not TCP. I am receiving the,
RDP.
yes, and sending out the telnet. So different kind of traffic. So again, sorry, not telnet, TCP. So I am able to RDP this without any telnet rule. Same public instance present in my my public instance present in my public subnet. So when I try to connect, I am able to connect all TCP.
So just to connect from RDP, even this outbound rule is also not required, no? Or is it required?
Outbound rule, it do require, like, let's say I have, let me edit this, remove this. I have removed this, save changes. Now try to do the same thing. What will happen? It will block.
Yeah, not working.
Hmm. So, guys, sometime now we do get confused in between port protocol, port range, and each and everything. But make sure that while you doing this, you have the proper. So RDP is the remote desktop connection. So I am connecting with the EC2 instance, but EC2 instance is not right now doing the RDP to anything. They are just sending out the traffic. So TCP traffic. So that's why all TCP is allowed and we are able to communicate. So what will happen if I am in my instance? Let's say now I'm able to access my instance. I have provided the credentials and now I'm sitting in my instance. Will I be able to call my private subnet and the private instance? No, because I haven't allowed the RDP traffic yet. So for outbound, if I allowed the RDP traffic, then I will be able to do that. Guys, do you want me to do the lab again to like tomorrow? We have just got confused. I also got confused. So let's do this lab tomorrow. But I have shown you what is the configuration and what we have to do. So each and everything we are just doing right. We have to select the particular ports and particular protocols we have to allow. So RDP, we don't have to allow the RDP in the inbound, in the outbound, just in the inbound, because we are doing the RDP to our instance route now. So right now it is receiving a RDP traffic. The instance is receiving the RDP traffic. What it is sending out? It is sending out TCP. So that's why we have allowed all TCP. So inbound, what can it receive again? It can receive an HTTP. Uh, if I okay, hmm, let's edit, add new rule 500. Custom TCP. Let's try to do the okay. So I'm going to ping my public instance. Let's see if I am able to do so. Where is that instance? Request timeout. VPC management. What we have allowed? All IMC prep ping traffic. So let's do the same over here.
For ping, didn't we need a port 80
Port 80 for what?
for for ping?
Sorry, what?
For pinging, which port is needed?
You okay? So automatically it will assign you the port. So are you talking about the IMCP, which I have allowed?
No, for pinging, I do not know which port is needed or which protocol is needed.
You are I I
Sumo,
don't get what you're asking. So you are
I think
asking,
it is ICMP. ICMP. He is talking about ICMP protocol for pinging. That's it.
okay.
Actually,
So
I do not know about what is ICMP. That's why
there
I
is
asked
no
for ping.
specific, no. Okay. So let me repeat the question. So you are asking what is the port for ping?
Yes, yes. Port
Uh,
one protocol.
it's the ICMP, and there is no port range. Like no, there is no specific port.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, no specific port, that what we were doing, right? So in the inbound, we have allowed the all ICMP traffic. So let's do the same in the outbound, and let's see if we are able to do that, if we are able to ping or not. So all traffic is now denied. Let's edit and add new rule 100. All ICMP traffic. Okay, save changes. Let's do the same thing again. So we, yeah. Mm. So for each and everything, it is just not working. For some reason, it is showing us a lot of issue right now. For network ACL, we are in which one? Details. So we are in this particular ACL. So when we are selecting this by default, this subnet association, it is showing us details. Inbound, for now we have send all, and we have already allowed this, but still we are not able to receive the IPv4 traffic. So let's wait for a while. Let's in 5 to 3 minutes we will again do the ping. We will again run the ping command. So let's wait for a while. Let's see how much time it take.
For traceroute also, this is the ICMP.
uh, yeah, we are
For,
receiving the ping, na? We are receiving ping.
yeah, I'm asking like for traceroute command.
Tracer, no, you just have to what you are asking, if you want to allow tracer, then what?
Yeah,
Yeah, same IPv.
ICMP.
Yes, yes. And we have to allow the TCP also. Where is the TCP? All TCP. TCP and new rule. So, guys, don't forget that whenever we are okay. So, why we are assigning TPC also? DNS. Yes. Now it should work. Sorry.
Ma'am, I believe here we need to use a tool that is putty, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to allow telnet or SSH as well, so that only will be able to ping. We cannot ping it from here.
Okay. The thing is
Yeah.
now, like I am also not sure about the ports and these things. So, like rules, where what rules you have to allow. So, this configuration is perfectly right for putty, and when you are doing
Yes.
putty and SSH, then only you have to allow the rule. So, let's say I want to do SSH, then I will allow the inbound SSH traffic, and from my EC2, I want to do SSH to something, then I will allow the SSH outbound traffic. But for now, what I want to do, I want to ping my EC2, so I am allowing all the ICMP traffic, And I also, what I want to do, I also want to receive the, when I'm sending the ping, so I have to allow the ping to come back to me. That's why this ICMP I have allowed. Similarly, with the all TCP, what is happening? Why all TCP is allowed? You can see over here, when we are not able to ping, what is happening? We get a request timeout, which is mean that it is showing us a denial. So in the cases of TPC only, we get the denial. That means that it means that we are getting TCP traffic. So we have to allow that we are getting TCP traffic. Outbound, inbound. In inbound also, let's allow the TCP, but I see custom TCP is already allowed all the 6 ports. Hmm.
Is there a way to confirm it?
There's only one way. You have to be very good at rule creation. You have to be very good. You have to remember all the ports, protocols, and rules. So if you are able to do that, then you won't face any problem. But in case of organization, what is happening? They will give you the clear-cut instruction and the configuration details. So maybe not each and everything, but most of the things will be available with you. So at that time, it is not required for you to remember each port and each protocol, but having an idea, it is necessary. So work on your protocols. Now let's for inbound, allowed all TCP. I have allowed all TCP. Let's see what is happening.
Can we try to ping the domain name instead?
Domain name?
There is
I'm
there is
sorry,
no
what?
There will be a DNS, right?
Yes, there is a DNS. You can see over here, private IP DNS. So I don't have the access to the DNS because it belongs to AWS.
Yeah, we can just try to ping this one. The yeah, the IP dash 10 dash
this is
host
private,
name.
na?
I mean to say host
Mm-hmm.
That is private.
Okay.
Can't access from the.
Guys. We are, you can see, we are able to send, we receive 0, lost. Okay. What is happening over here? We are able to send, but we are not able to receive. So it is not sending us the traffic back. So let's see. Okay, first of all, let's do what you are saying. So you are talking about that I should try to ping this one, right?
yeah, the host name. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Mm. This is not working. I think I just got a hint. Let's go back to the ACL. Yes, over here. Network ACL and inbound. Let's go to the outbound rule and we will see. Okay, guys, it is not working. I will check it tomorrow, and configuration is the same. You know it, but it's just that the protocols and rules, but they are connected with the internet gateway. This public subnet has the internet gateway attached with it, right? I don't think that's the reason, guys. For now, let me just make sure that you understand what we have done today. For now, we are configuring network ACL. I have showed you the way how to configure that, but I am not able to configure ACL because I am not very good with all protocols and inbound and outbound rules. So I will try and check it out tomorrow. And after doing some homework, then I will let you know what where I went wrong. So it's not that we are doing wrong configuration. It's not that we are on the wrong network. It's we are doing each and everything perfectly fine. Only thing we are missing is the knowledge of protocols. So we don't know if when we are doing RDP, we have to allow TCP, then only we can do RDP, because to do RDP, TCP packet is getting sent by the RDP machine, so the server we are RDPing. So these kind of information is very necessary. So we have found out why we are not able to do the RDP. Then we find out that we have not allowed TCP. That's why we are not able to do RDP. Same thing I wanted to do with the ping, but I am not able to figure out why we are not able to do ping. So it's just having a good knowledge of rules, protocols. It's very good. So either way, I either way I will do some practice over this protocol rules, protocol and rules, or maybe I will just give you a guide. source to the guide. You can check out and read. No route tables. There is nothing wrong in any configuration. The thing is lacking is me. I don't have proper knowledge about the port range and protocols. Let me give you the example. While we were configuring the RDP, I didn't know that when we are doing the RDP, we have to allow the TCP packet to go out. Because when I am doing the RDP to the instance, I am receiving TCP packet from the instance. So I haven't allowed outbound TCP, so that's why I wasn't able to do the RDP. This is the rules, and good engineer should know about the rules, these protocols, the networking protocols. I didn't know about that, but when we are doing the ping, I don't know what we in inbound what we have to. Oh, thank you so much. I try my best. We are not able to configure it. Tomorrow I will try one more time, and otherwise I will give you the good resource book. I will find out the resource book to do so. So for now, guys, just remember about the ACL. In ACL we provide rules that will govern our traffic, and for that having a good port knowledge is very necessary. So tomorrow I will share the resource, and I will try to do a lot of configuration regarding the ports, so it will make you clear. Okay, so guys, other than today's topic, do you have any kind of doubt? Configuration is totally right. We are just missing one step, maybe something. We are missing the right protocols that we have to allowed. But only thing we have to do, we have to allowed protocol. We have to allow the traffic that we want to receive and the traffic we want to send out. So that's what we have to do. So different protocols. Just have I will go and have an idea about the protocols. I mean, I do know the protocols. It's just like I'm not able to recall properly. So I will just take a look properly. Then I will let you know tomorrow, and I will share the resources also from where you can have a good knowledge about protocols, because you can see over here it is very important. So that's it for today, guys. Any doubt, anything, please do let me know.
No, man. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys for attending this session. I will see you guys tomorrow, and tomorrow we will definitely configure the our li- ACL. We will definitely configure our ACL, and the only thing okay, let me give you a brief about tomorrow's topic. So tomorrow we will also do virtual private network VPN. So gateways and VPN, these two things that we have to do in VPC. Otherwise, our VPC is almost complete. DNS firewall and domain list. These two things is also are the part of it, but this is very uh, over complicated things, and it require lots of configuration and hardware, not hardware, but it requires proper simulation. So for DNS, a DNS setup, and we have to select the DNS. These are the rule books and each and everything. Domain list, these are other things we have to look into the VPC for. So almost VPC, we are about to cover our VPC, but there are some section that is not covered in my classes, which let me come to the page of VPC. Okay, you can see in the VPC we have covered subnet, route table, internet gateway, DHCP option. We will see that elastic IP we have covered, endpoints we will see that tomorrow. Net gate we had covered, peering we had covered, virtual private gateway we have to see that, customer gateway we have to see that. Okay, so you can see over here there are many missing topic, because when we come inside here there are many topics which I haven't mentioned in this slide. So according like when we follow the program, the whatever I am teaching you, it's enough. And whatever over there, we required proper simulation, proper work environment to run that. So that's why I am not able to conclude this in the course. But you can find out the working by watching the videos, by watching the documents. That's why today again I showed you how to access the documents and the videos. So guys, anything I am missing, it's only because I am not able to run that without any proper enterprise environment. Okay, guys, thing is like I worked on many solution cloud platform. It like work with Microsoft. I even have a certification with Microsoft Azure. So this is the main cloud I work on, Microsoft Azure. I have worked on Google, worked on, with the AWS also. Sometime we do messed up. Sometime there is a server issue. Sometime it just we are messing something, and sometime it just we don't know how to how protocols work. So thing is, even if you are working for three, I am working in network domain for 3 or 4 years, but I cannot read everything, I cannot remember everything. So that's why it is necessary that we know what we have done, like step by step guide what I have done till now, and how I will call out the previous step. If I am on the step 5, so I should be able to call out what is my step 4. It's not like there is no ranking, there is no connection in between my step 1 and step 5, then I will not be able to do the troubleshoot. Otherwise the problem will stick. So that's the thing, guys. Configuration is perfectly fine. I will just give myself a recap over the protocols, then we will do the protocol thing. For now, this that's all for today.
Thank you,
Have a
ma'am.
great
Ma'am,
day, guys.
I want to tell you one thing. In VPN, would you like to teach us something about IPsec, some sort of those details or not? Like there are two phases of VPN. Will you give us a brief about that, or you will just go with what is actually in AWS only?
Okay, as for like I have been hired to give
Yes.
you the detail about the AWS and follow the course content. But if you don't know about the VPN tunneling and the other
Yeah, yeah.
thing, then you will not be able to understand that. So thing is, okay, so if the case is that you guys are not familiar with the technology, just let me know while I'm teaching it. So as you have mentioned, I will try to conclude maximum part of IPsec encryption, each and everything, so you will not get confused
Yeah, yeah,
about the yes. You get the idea about what is the VPN tunneling, IPsec tunneling, and how the encryption is done. And when you have the idea about the VPN tunneling, we will understand how VPN tunneling, the concept of VPN tunneling, how we can achieve that in AWS. Okay.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Ye-
And there are those two phases of VPN, like phase one, phase two. So
Mm-hmm.
I want a little bit description. I have asked actually a lot of guys, but I was not
Mm-hmm.
able to
Okay,
get
I
any.
will give you the details about the VPN topic. And guys, let me just tell you one thing. What's your name? Sorry, what's your
Inam,
name? Yes,
Inam, Inam.
like yes, very good, Inam. Great. Like Inam, guys, if you are eager to learn and is there something that I am saying, let's say I am talking about roots. Let's say I'm talking about roots, and you don't know what root is. So I'm talking about CDR block, and you don't know what is CDR block, and I'm talking about subnet range, and you don't know what is subnet range, what is how to do subnet masking, how to do that. So if these things are coming up, a thing is, guys, you have to either you can do one thing, you can ask me. Otherwise, if you don't want to waste the time of your class member, you can study by yourself. But if you are not studying by yourself and you are afraid that you will waste the time, then I will strongly urge you to ask me. Because if you are attending 1 hour of class, 1 or 2 hour of class, and still not getting the basic and still not able to understand, then it is a total waste of time. Like for me as well, for you as well, I don't want you guys to waste your time. If there is anything that is unrelated to AWS, but in the cybersecurity domain, then you can ask me, because I have do have some experience other than AWS, other than security tools, other than coding. So if you have anything in this particular domain and you want to ask, you can come and ask, but make sure that you don't wander off the topic, right? Like the imam asked that we gonna do the VPN, so he wanted to have a good brief about the VPN itself, not the VPN we will do in the AWS, but the VPN which exists in the traditional network and traditional environment. So he want the overview on that also. So these cases, I don't mind, I don't mind this, but only if they are helping you. So if you have any doubts regarding the any topic, you can come and ask in the free time. I'm available. So make sure, guys, any doubt doesn't go unnoticed. So it's very good that Iman has done that. I urge all of you, if you have any kind of doubt in any kind of thing, just go ahead and ask. Only two things will happen. Either I will answer the question, or either I will stuck on the question. I will not be able to answer you guys. So both of these things, I don't mind any of that. So please do and ask.